Hello, all my fellow doers. I could do anything, and today I could talk to you about women's rights in America. Now, women deserve to be equal to everybody else because we're all human beings and we all deserve to be treated equal. All man is created equal. Yes, in the human race, mankind includes women, obviously. That is true. But let's talk about the plague that is harming America today. I'm talking about the feminists. Now, what your idea of feminism is probably the wrong idea of what feminism actually is. If you talk to a true feminist, they will say that using that title of being a feminist or having feminism ideals is completely ludicrous and kind of destroys what they're fighting for. The true feminists, that is. Now, the ones that you guys more than likely know are those crazy ones that are in America. Yep, I'm talking about most of the ladies, actually, all of the feminism activists that are protesting and trying to fix things in America. Those are the ones that are all 100% completely wrong. See, the real feminists, what are they trying to do? They're going to the third world countries, they're going to the Middle East and trying to give women's rights there. Because they realize the fact that where women are in America is the best and everywhere else is actually worse. Women have less rights in other countries and women have the most amount of rights in America. So instead of trying to make America be, you know, the best and have women equal to men, they realize that the gap is so minuscule that they must fix the problems happening all around the world. Now, I completely support that. Women are dying because they want to wear pants or they're going outside and they don't have a man by their side. That's what's happening in those third world countries and the Middle East and stuff. Like girls, too. There's guy feminists that actually go out there to the Middle East and also support them. I support that cause. But what's happening in America today is completely ignorant and just ludicrous and needs to be stopped. The women that are saying or claiming, oh yeah, we're feminists. We need to fix everything that's wrong with America. Oh yeah, men are complete, misogynist. Every guy, if he gives you a compliment, he's a rapist. There are absolutely crazy women, and they have supporters. They have people that actually support them. Go look up for yourself. Don't just take my word for it, okay? Go look up on what true feminists do and what true feminism is. Even though using that title is completely wrong, women's rights. Yes, look at women's rights activists. Those are the ones you need to look for. You don't need to look out for the feminists because 90% of them are crazy because they use that title and they belong to a certain group. And it is kind of hard to associate with them and or, you know, it kind of sucks for the real women's activists. But where did it all start? Well, ever since the beginning, I guess you could say, of modern civilization, women have worked for being equal and or having more rights. No, that's pretty good. Before women couldn't work, before women didn't have the right to vote and they can't fight. I say give them that right. Let them be equal to men and all this. That's good. That's cool, right? And so what if it's just a little bit lower? If women are just a little bit under men, because that's as close as it'll ever get without destroying the society. If you make a woman exactly equal to man, it will completely destroy the fabric of a society. Now, you guys might be looking at me and thinking, wait, you're overreacting. That's crazy. Equality, right? I mean, did it destroy America when the slaves had equal rights? Yeah, it actually did. That caused the Civil War, man. Well, actually, Lincoln made it about the Civil War with his Emancipation Proclamation. It actually wasn't about that. It was about the South trying to revolt and secede because they needed. Well, okay, whatever. Let me tell you though, that has destroyed America. Being equal. Now that's great. The slaves being freed, yes, that's great. The slaves being equal, blacks being equal, perfect. I support that 100%. But I'm just trying to show you guys, give you an example on how a society was drastically changed because of laws and stuff like that. The South, you know, we had a bloody civil war, and although it wasn't made about the slaves and equal rights until the mainly middle or end of the Civil War, that's what everybody remembers it for. And I'm not saying that, if women have equal rights as men, there's going to be a giant civil war, which a lot of people are saying. There's crazy stuff happening in America. Grab your guns, grab your gear, and protect yourself because there's crazy things happening. But what I am saying is that it will destroy everything. Women being equal to men. Imagine that. Imagine a society where a guy is equal to a girl. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'll hit a guy. If a guy talks to me wrong, if a guy disrespects me in any way that I think is a lot, if a guy spits in my face, that's disrespecting to the max. I'll uppercut his ass, okay? But if a chick does that to me, society says it's wrong for me to hit her. Well, I'm talking about equality here. I want women to be equal as men, right? I'll treat a girl how I treat a guy. Now imagine that, okay? Okay, everybody's equal, right? So if I hit my buddy over here, I horse around, I punch him in the face, I elbow him, you know. Well, what if I do that to a girl? Well, society labels me as a person that beats on women, and I'm hated on. And if I go to prison, I'll get shanked. That shit is real, okay? So obviously, now if that was changed, holy crap, a lot of things will happen. Now that's just an extreme factor, hitting. Obviously, some people will still have their morals and view things certainly and say, oh no, it's still wrong to hit a woman, right? No, okay, all right, that's cool. But what about socially? Social factors and ways. Women get to go into clubs for free. Yes, a lot of you may not know that, but in a lot of establishments, such as clubs or bars or anything, if there is an entrance fee or waiting time, obviously they'll let in women in. Because if there's women in there, then it's going to attract men, and they know the bars that men have a tendency to drink more than women. Drinking more, obviously, more money in the pocket of the bar. So they let women in for free, so it could attract guys, and more money for them, right? Now that's a great business outline. That's a great business outline, but how does it affect the society? You see women going in for free, and you're a guy. You're like, damn, let's be equal, right? Like, make them pay, make them get in more. Well, if they have to pay, women will less than likely want to go to that bar, and that'll actually cause a decrease in the amount of guys going because there's less women, and that'll actually maybe even fail a business because they're not getting as much business because less women, less guys, less money in their pocket, and maybe that'll shut down businesses. Now you guys are thinking that's extreme, right? I mean, there's no way that just because women aren't going, guys aren't gonna go. Well, those are actually social hotspots. Yes, going to a bar, going to a club, those are where people meet and socialize. That's you talk to random people. You conversate. That's what you do. That's the purpose of a bar, to meet new people, or a club, to dance with people. That's the purpose. Now, if you destroy that purpose by cutting down the amount of people, and next thing you know, you're just seeing like 100 people in there when the other night there was nearly 500 people. You're thinking to yourself, "Wow, this is dying down. I don't want to go," and you actually cut down going. Now, that's part of psychology. If you see a lot of people doing something, your brain automatically wants to do it. Now, that's because humans have a tendency to be social, working in groups, packs. That's why families usually live with each other. That's like being in a pack, man. It's like a pack of wolves, and you socialize. If there's a bigger pack of wolves, you want to be a part of that. You want to be with them. So if a lot of people are doing something, you want to be a part of it. That's just that's just human nature, man. If other people are doing it, I want to do it myself. So if a lot of people stop going to a certain establishment, then you're going to think, oh, well, it must be bad. If other people aren't going, I won't go. Now it'll fill the bar. How else will women being completely equal fail society besides socially? Well, think about it this way economically. It's always so horrible to have minimum wage. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Wait, minimum wage? Bro, some people live off that, and we need to make it higher. Well, that's the ignorant idea. Increasing minimum wage will actually decrease living costs. That's not true. Increasing minimum wage will just increase the price of everything, and the cost of living will go up. And in fact, companies will hire less people. Well, that's an open and shut case. So let's talk about how women would affect that. Now, I think that women deserve equal amount of pay in the workforce, depending on their work. I don't think that just because she's a woman, she should get paid equal to a guy, or just because he's a guy, he should get paid more than a woman. You obviously have to put in the work and put in the effort, then you'll get paid more, then you'll get paid higher. Plus, I'm pretty sure that the difference in job pay is not that much. In fact, the Institute for Women's Policy Research conducted a research in 2015 and found that the pay gap between men and women was only 21 cents. 21 cents. Now tell me, do you think that that price gap is astronomical and is completely toppling women's rights, and they can't make a simple living for themselves because of a 21-cent gap? No, that's completely false. Just because of 21 cents less than a woman is making than a man, do you think that a woman cannot live simply because of a small gap? That's less than a quarter. A freaking quarter. Now, let's take that on a larger scale. Billions, billions of women working all around the world, right? Now, there's around 300, 600 million of people in North America, right? So let's just take a number. Say there's 100 million women working, and all of them make 21 cents less than a man. And a man, obviously makes a dollar. Okay, let's say a million guys, a million girls. A million of them, a million of the guys make a dollar. A million of the girls make 79 cents. That's a 21 gap in the price. Now, do you think that when you see it on a larger scale, the gap would be larger? Well, obviously, that's true with anything. If you have 1 penny, it's completely insignificant. Now, if you have a billion pennies, now that's way more. So if the price gap is only 21 cents between one woman and one man, well, you may be thinking, well, obviously it's going to change, it's going to be worse. Well, over the years, the gap is becoming smaller and smaller. And it isn't because women's rights or anything like that. No, maybe it's because women are working harder. Maybe it's because women want to strive to support themselves, so they work harder. Huh, did you ever think of that? It isn't because of crazy weird laws that are being passed. It's because more and more women can support themselves, and I'm good with that. You don't need a man, you don't need a woman to support yourself, right? If you could do it yourself, good for you. So, if you close that gap, like I said, a million women making 79 cents and a million guys making a dollar. Now, if we close that gap of $210,000, that's the difference on a larger scale. $210,000, and women that make 79 cents an hour, if you made them have equal pay, you would have to put 210,000 more dollars in that group of a million women. Now, obviously, you can't just pull money out the air. If you have to pay someone more for the exact amount of service that they've been doing and for the exact amount of money that you've been receiving, just because there's a law that's passed, obviously, you're not going to want to do it. And to make ends meet, you're going to have to fire or let go a lot of people. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, what is he talking about? I'm saying that if you make women have equal pay, close to 21 cent gap, that millions of people are going to be laid off. Now, you maybe think to yourself, that doesn't make any sense. Well, let's talk about Obamacare for just a brief second. When Obamacare came into effect, every single establishment had to offer health care. That means from being a janitor at McDonald's to being an executive at Olive Garden, okay? So, what Olive Garden did in particularly was every single worker, except for obviously the main management and stuff like that, every worker became part time. Because if you're a part time employee, because you're not getting the certain amount of hours, the company doesn't have to provide health insurance. So that means people getting, let's just say, $100 a day for working 8 hours a day, we're only getting $50 a day and only working 4 hours a day. So that completely screwed people over because the company was going to spend millions upon millions on offering health insurance, so they had to make ends meet because they were bringing in amount of money, but they were also providing the same amount of service. It's not like they got a huge spike in sales because of Obamacare. No. So they had to let go a lot of people. Not physically fire them, but they had to cut their hours down in half. Now, tell me if you think you can make a living off of part-time minimum wage. Now, people as it is were barely making a living off of minimum wage, and they really needed that. Now, the benefits that they were getting, they didn't care if they were getting none. They didn't care if they were getting all of them. They were still making a living, right? But Obamacare came in and said, nope, you got to provide healthcare for everybody. And all of a sudden, their hours were cut in half. And millions of jobs were lost just based on that. Now, imagine closing the pay gap. A woman isn't working any harder than she was before. Uh, the company isn't getting it any more money than it was before. Closing that pay gap, obviously, like I said, with a million women, paying that gap is $210,000. And let's say the company only makes $1 million a year. That means they would severely take a hit. And it's not like it would be, oh yeah, you're working hard, you've been for the company for 10 years, so here's a raise. No, it's, oh, you're a woman? All right, well, here's a 21-cent raise. Just cause you're a woman. Now tell me if that isn't sexist. That is sexist. Yes, just because she's a woman, she gets treated better than men. And a lot of guys are just taking this because let's let's just say in America, guys are shitted on. Guys are the devil pretty much right now at this moment. If you're a dude, you're shit. Pretty much, bruh. I mean, being a guy, people are like, oh, being a guy's like, bruh, that's easy. Being a woman's hard. Actually, based on how society is right now, I mean, if you're a woman, you're viewed as being better than a guy. You're being viewed as better than this society in movies and everything. If there's a single parent, 9 times out of 10 in a movie or in a show, that's a woman. And the guy left because he had some drug addiction or is addicted to alcohol. You hardly see a single guy parent, unless you're watching I Am Sam, which is a fantastic movie and I guarantee you should watch it. But yeah, most of the movies, and that's Hollywood, and that's other people posting their views. And guys are just taking it because we don't, frankly, we don't give a fuck. We don't care what's happening about that. We don't care if we're shitted on because we we just do what we do. And that's mainly the difference. Women are speaking up more than men. It's the silent majority that aren't doing anything while the outspoken minority are changing so much. It's been that way ever since the beginning. The outspoken minority. Just because you speak out or say things, people are going to pay attention to you. Obviously, if you have ideas and you don't make them heard, no one's going to listen because you're not making your voice heard. And that's what's happening with the society today. There's a lot of people, including myself, viewing women's rights and women's equality as the best it's ever been in a society. And it's great. But women aren't trying to be equal to men. They're trying to be better than men. They're trying to be put higher than men. They want to work in the military, be on the front lines, get paid equal as men. but they actually don't want to fight in the wars. No, no, they want to serve their country, but no, just don't put me on the front line. Don't give me a M4A4, and don't make me kill any terrorists. I'm cool with that. I want to be on the I want to be working with them and getting equal pay, but I don't want to be putting in equal work. Now, you guys may be thinking that's ludicrous. That's a small amount, and I'm just making assumptions. No, that's actually true. Um, that makes sense. But there are some sensible women that I have met. There are some girls that actually still have a brain, and I'm thankful for them. But I want them to speak out. And I want more of you guys to speak out because the way America is heading right now, holy crap, we're going to be screwed if we keep heading down the path. If you really want women to be equal, go to a damn third world